and this is a Rhythm and Soul. Now, just before I played you a song by Gabby Barrett titled Footprints in the Moon, a lot of you will think that you can't have footprints in the moon. One thing that innovation has told us is you can have footprints anywhere. And another thing, and another opportunity the coronavirus has given us is that you can make a mark wherever you are in the world. Now, I asked the question, do you think that you can actually be studying in the UK while studying right here in Port Harcourt? I didn't say Nigeria, I said right here in Port Harcourt. I didn't say River State, I said right here in Port Harcourt. Have you ever thought of actually studying in Ukraine and studying in Nigeria at the same time? You never thought about that? Well, everything is as possible as the word P. And of course, I'm not going to be the one talking about it. In fact, I was blown out of proportion today when I got to have a conversation with this wonderful gentleman in the studio today. I have Professor Kontein Trinya in the studio. He's the director, the Institute of Distant Learning, Ignatius Ojuru University of Education. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Thank you.
I also have David Bob Manuel. He is a program coordinator for Ukrainian Pathway Program. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I know that there'll be a lot of questions that will come up once we start our conversations. So remember, the phone lines will still be open, 0902 333 9379. I'll take the number one more time, 0902 333 9379. And trust me, you may not really want to call because we will answer all the questions you can think of. But who says you can call to ask questions where we have omitted? Now, I understand what it is to study in the UK and how expensive it could be. I mean, studying abroad, and especially studying in London itself, where you're spending euros. Sorry, you're spending pounds, and of course you know the exchange rates now. But through the Institute of Distant Learning, we have something coming into Ignatius Ojuru University that is pocket-friendly and affordable. I want you, Professor Kontein Trinya, to give us that information, what we need to know, what is actually coming into Port Harcourt.
To start with, Karina, thank you very much. I wish I had your radiophonic voice. I wish I could speak as interesting as you've done.
Thank you.
Yes, they have been concerned the world over, especially with the pandemic scares, how learning can be sustained. So my Vice Chancellor has been very enthusiastic about increasing the learning space and opportunities, thanks to the government. And the university has had partnerships with the Karazin University of Ukraine and the University of London.
Okay.
So we can have international students here in the soil of Nigeria, right in Port Harcourt.
Okay.
And the program is the same. The certificate to get at the end of the program the same. So, in brief.
Okay, so we have the University of London.
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
And as well as the Karazin
University
of Ukraine. Is this a partnership with the University, Ignatius Ojuru University of Education?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
All right, so let's say I want to be part and parcel of this. What do you offer?
Okay, let me ask
Bob, to go ahead.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, for the program in Ukraine, we have BSc Business Management, we have Bachelor of Science, also Computer Science Information Technology, we have BSc Economics, we have BSc in Sociology, BSc Physics, and BSc Political Science, making a total of 6 courses we're starting with.
All right, so what about the University of London? What are the courses we have to offer?
Yeah, for the University of London, we have 5 courses. The first one is BSc Computer Science with specialty in Machine Learning and Artificial Intelligence. Yes, the second one is also BSc Computer Science with specialty in Physical Computing and the Internet of Things. The third course is BSc Computer Science with specialty in Virtual Reality. Fourth one is BSc Business Administration with specialty in Human Resource Management. And the fifth course is BSc Business Administration with specialty in Marketing.
All right, so we have a total of 11 courses from the 2 universities that will be taking place right here in Port Harcourt. Now, let us assume that I'm a parent and I just listened to the program right now, and I would really love my kid to have a degree from the University of Karazin or from the University of London. how then do I come over to you? Like, what are the requirements? What do I need? What does my child need to be part and parcel of this institution?
Okay, to start with, there's this Fijian proverb that waiting somebody they find for Sokoto, they find in Sokoto. So we don't have to go so far going through all the rigors of visas and flight tickets. London is brought to close. Ukraine is brought to close. So the entry requirements are basically the same as for JAM. 5 credits and compulsorily mathematics and English, and then other related subjects.
Talking
so
about
what does the
JAM.
parent need? 5 credits.
Okay. Do I have to write JAM to be part of this?
For the Ukraine program, for the London program, no. They are not Nigerian they're not students of the Nigerian university, so they don't need JAM. But the center is going to start its own program approved by the National Universities Commission soon. So those ones will need JAM. But for these 2 programs, no.
Okay, so what are the major benefits of me coming to why when I need 5 credits to go to a normal university? Why do I have to come to? What are the benefits, basically?
Okay, let me ask David to try that. I'll come in. Yes.
Okay, if you have 5 credits, you have to write JAM, you have to do the post-UME, you have to keep checking to see if you get a course of your choice. But if you decide to go with any of our programs, whichever course you choose and you're qualified for, you have no scares of getting an admission. You don't need to write the JAM. All you need is to have 5 credits, including mathematics and English, and 3 relevant courses for the course of your choice. So once you have, for example, if you're going for computer science and information technology, you have mathematics, you have English, you have ICT, you have physics, chemistry, then you know you're qualified on your own. Yeah. So once you make an application, you can via the website. The website is www.idl.iaue.net. So once you go on the website, www.idl.iaue.net, it's very easy. You know, when you go there, you can just apply online, and then with the interface, people begin to communicate with you, and then you can get an admission, and then you can resume the program. So the website is going to be open for applications on the 15th of February, which is next week, Monday, and then classes are to commence on the 15th of March. So we have 1 month open for all students from all over the country to get involved, apply, get your admission letters, which will be coming from abroad, or your admission letter, and then get set for matriculation, and then classes will start.
All right, it sounds quite easy, but as a parent, I'd like to know what it will. The pandemic actually gave a lot of us the jab on the jaw, and some people hit them below the belt. So while I want my child to have a good education, a good degree at the end of the day, I'll also want to know how pocket friendly it is. So let's talk about the costs.
Okay, well, probably I'll get back to one of the first questions you asked. If somebody had 5 credits, where would they need to come and go to another university? You know that not everybody who had 5 credits got admission to universities. Some people have 10 credits and they're still struggling to get admission.
True.
So here you have an offer with little stress. So now talking of pandemic, what kind of learning, how has it taken into consideration the present realities of our situation? This is going to be a dual mode process. That is, there will be virtual learning, but there are some who don't, and educationists across the world know that they aren't very confident. They still want to interface with somebody.
Sure.
So the provision is made for these ones to be in a classroom environment where local resource persons, instructors, will make the instructional materials meaningful to them.
Okay.
So there's virtual learning, yes. There's also classroom interaction.
Okay. So when we say virtual learning, I'm one I've been taking a course online, actually from the London Business School, actually, and it's supposed to be for 7 weeks, and this is week 5. I'm still in week 3 because I'm still trying to wrap my head around going online to get it virtual. Now, are there specific courses that I must do virtual? Because I'm seeing that there are some courses that has virtual reality as an option. I also see some courses that have physical computing and the Internet of Things as an option. Are there courses that I must do virtually and courses that I must do physically? Or I can interface with them at any point in time? I can change that?
Well, there are some programs that the demands are different,
Okay.
and some kinds of presentations or in some kinds of courses would demand that, for instance, if you're going to do virtual reality, you can't make sense of that in the classroom environment where you're sitting before a teacher. You have to go online. You have to use the computer. So it depends on the course that the student is doing at that time. So there will be some courses that will demand an internet interface, and some other courses that some tutor or instructor would have to be on ground to help explain.
Okay.
And then, but talking of completing a stage or a module before moving on, with the London program, there are some new modules you can't get into until you have finished a previous module.
Okay. 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 So let's talk about duration. Say it's a BSc, and normal Nigerian BSc is for 4 years. I don't know what's obtainable with this distant learning, because sometimes we get to get distant learning, do like a crash program, they shrink it to like 1 year and 3 months, 1 year 6 months for a 4 years course. Are we having the same thing, the same replica here?
Okay, let me answer. For the Ukraine program, you do 2 years in Nigeria.
Okay.
Then you go 2 years and complete in Ukraine.
Oh.
That's how that program is structured.
Okay.
2 first years here.
In Nigeria.
And then they pay to the local university. The last 2 years, they must be in Ukraine to complete that program.
Oh, must.
Yes, that's how that program is structured.
Okay.
For the London program, it's actually a 3-year program.
Okay.
And you come in with an A-level.
Okay.
We could take you if you have done the first year in a Nigerian university, or you already have an A-level somewhere else.
Okay.
Then it's up to the student, the learner, to do all the 3 years here, or 1 year here and 2 years in London, or 2 years here and the final year in London.
Okay.
It will depend on their performance. So I don't know if that answers.
Yeah, let's assume that I have a first degree,
Yeah.
but I want to do another first degree, which sometimes could be possible.
Yeah.
And I want to move totally from what I did to something really new. And I come with, say, a first degree. Would I be able to go in to do a master's, or rather an undergraduate program with the first degree?
Well, a first degree already prepares you for learning at a stage better than others who haven't got it.
Yeah.
But if I had a first degree in English and I wanted to come and do a different program in mathematics,
Yeah.
certainly the one admitting me wants to be sure that I'm prepared to start learning in mathematics, because English and mathematics have no bearing.
Definitely.
So if you've had a first degree in a field not related to the new discipline you want to, you probably might be considering different options apart from different criteria apart from that degree.
Okay. All right. So let's say.
But a question you asked: how long would the duration be?
Yeah.
For London program, for the European program, I said it's 4 years. 2 years here, 2 years there.
Okay.
For the London program, it's with an MA, 3 years.
Okay.
But then you have a 6-year maximum. So in case it drags, somebody doesn't finish a model, they can go 5 years, at the most 6 years.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I get to see. So it's based on the modules.
Yes.
You have to round up the module before you move to the next module.
And individual performance.
Okay, an individual performance. All right. So did we talk about the cost particularly for this entire programming?
Yes. David, how will you answer that?
Okay. The cost of doing the Ukrainian pathway program is about the average of Nigerian private university.
Okay.
So you just pay that, and even the accommodation fee here is very minimal, and the accommodation is very good. We have just 2 persons in a room, just 2 persons in a room.
It's self-contained.
Yes, in a self-contained room. You have your own.
They're like suites. I would call them rooms.
Like hotel suites. Like you have your own bathroom. Everything is enclosed and secure for you. And just 2 persons in a room, not like a typical Nigerian hostel where you have.
Sorry, typical hostel, take out.
not like a typical hostel where we have, as many as possible. Yeah. So here the hostels are beautiful. The cost for studying per year is just like that of an average Nigerian private university.
Okay.
And so when they're in Nigeria for the first 2 years, they pay local fees in naira. When they transfer over to Ukraine, then they can pay the actual tuition fees as others international students are paying abroad.
Okay. You don't want to give out the costs, the figure.
Well, he said it. If anybody goes online and finds out what other universities charge,
Okay.
And sometimes with the
Okay. All right. So let's assume I have a child or a sister or a daughter who wants to register with this program. How do I go about it then?
okay, David.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, the website is going to be up and running from Monday the 15th of February.
Okay.
And the website is www.idl.iaue.net.
Okay.
So whoever can visit this website, you get access to online application, and then you can follow up from there. You can also send an email for inquiries to info@idl.iaue.net. The phone number for inquiries we have is 0815 138 4751. 0815 138 4751.
Okay. You did that so fast. So I'll take it, but I need to know. I've already know the courses and the thoughts.
Yeah.
I also know how it's going to be run. Let's talk about facilities, because we have a thing when it comes to educational sector disparity among this country and of course Nigeria, these countries and Nigeria. What kind of facilities are there for students to study, so that we have the same learning experience, maybe not the same, but the same modules, the same understanding of basically throughout the entire programming.
Yes, resource materials for universities, for the foreign universities to agree to partner with these local universities or ours. They must have verified what's on ground.
Mm-hmm.
So, for these universities, or mine, that so long has run undergraduate programs and postgraduate programs, to have been accredited by the National Universities Commission, then they have what it takes to run these programs at that level. So, talking of facilities, yes, there's everything on ground to undertake these projects.
All right, 0902 333 9379. That's the number to call. One more time, 0902 333 9379. If you have a question, if you have anything to ask, thoughts, or maybe areas we haven't attended to. One more time, the number is 0902 333 9379. Of course, you know what you do when you call on the radio. You must adhere to the radio rules. Simply turn down the volume of your listening device. Aside that, you try to be as audible as possible. And please make sure you stay within the 1 minute max, so we can have time to respond and have time for others to call in. But I also need to go further at asking this particular question. When are we going to get a postgraduate program coming?
Well, very soon, the next academic year. Yes, possible. We could have started with one, but we already have a viable postgraduate school.
Okay.
And since we are beginning this distance learning initiative, we thought that it was better to do an undergraduate for the start, and then the postgraduate would come later on. There were other universities that wanted to partner with us in North America, and those some, I don't want to call their names,
please,
in Canada and US, and some in Europe. But we chose to start with these two.
Okay.
So if we start with an undergraduate program, we would have learned some of the blanks we should fill before we bring in postgraduate. Besides, a postgraduate program is just 1 year.
Okay.
And like David would say, it would give you all the time to get the feel of both, the feel of
both worlds.
Yeah. So if we do the undergraduate program 2 years here, you anticipate Europe before you get there. And with undergraduate program, unless for people postgraduate, who have made up their minds they want to do that program here, like the one you're doing here. So next, to answer you, hopefully next session we should be able to start postgraduate programs with these institutes, these universities.
Okay, so let's assume that I'm doing the University of London BSc in Computer Science with virtual reality, and I have to get an online virtual classes and on-site classes. What kind of lecturers am I expecting to have? Foreign lecturers come tutor me, or am I going to be having the same local lecturers?
The concept of a distance learning center across the world, and London has in over 100 countries, and they've been doing this for over 100 years. The different modes of distance learning. The concept of a distance learning center is that the foreign or the international course materials, resource materials, they have local resource persons, e-tutors, who facilitate the process. So where it's not, there's no use bringing in the foreign tutors because we have competent personnel to do that. The materials will come here, and our lecturers will transfer them to, pass them down to the students.
So will I have almost the same learning environment like I will have when I eventually go to Ukraine or to London to study? Will I have the same, a replica of that here when I begin the BSc program
If
here?
you say replica, yes, but if you say environments, two environments cannot be the same.
Okay.
Even in Europe, even if we were to the London Learning Center in Europe or the Ukraine Learning Center in India, cannot be an exact replication because Ukraine has centers across the world. Ukraine University center across the world. It can't be the same. So every center is unique.
Okay.
And that uniqueness is what makes these universities to partner with local persons. So, but you have the resources are the same. From London, what you're going to have in all the schools where they have centers, the same material. What is taught in the on-site classes is what is taught in the virtual classes. The course material is the same. It's just that the teacher might be different. The teacher is different, but the material, the instruction is the same.
Okay.
So if somebody graduated in virtual learning here, or let's say sociology, Ukraine, if he brought his statement of result or his result, it will be different from what somebody did in the university back home.
Okay. All right. So do I have an option? Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have an option of just doing virtual classes all through, or doing on-site classes all through? Do I have that option, or I have to? There should be a mix.
It's a mix. Yes.
Okay.
But for the Ukraine university, we'd have foreign invigilators.
Oh.
Yes, we have local instructors. We'll have foreign invigilators. For the London program, examinations will be held at the British Council Centre. So we won't do the exam. You'll be taught in our class, but for the exam, we'll go to an approved center, so they are sure that the exam was properly conducted.
Don't worry, I know the experience of writing in the British Council.
Okay, fine.
I've experienced it. Okay. So for the Ukraine University, you have international invigilators coming from Ukraine.
To be sure that we have done well.
Okay, and for the University of London, the examination will be written at the British Council. Oh, okay. I need to take a breather with that.
No, don't be scared.
No, I'm not scared, but I think it's an opportunity for you to know.
Yes.
You have to know it to pass it. And it's an opportunity for you to want to, get the experience of what the studying abroad really is like. No room for any.
Exactly.
I don't want to put the word out there. All right. So lastly, before I go, I want to ask one question that has to do with education, basically. What will happen when my results are out? Say that I have an option from the University of London to have my 4 years or 3 years done here, and I don't necessarily have to go back to London to a convocation, matriculation, anything. Will my certification reflect the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education? Will it reflect just that institution I attended?
Okay. Again, these are learning. This is a learning center for a university.
Okay.
So these students are not the students of Ignatius Ajuri University of Education.
Okay.
So they don't come through JAM.
Okay.
They graduate with a certificate of Ukraine or London. And these are universities that also, through the alumnus programs, have some kind of interface with employers, and they follow up to make sure that their students have placements in jobs across the world. Yeah, so the certificate does not say you graduated from Port Harcourt.
Okay.
It says, in fact, if I presented my certificate after graduating from the University of Ajuri here, and somebody was in London, they won't know who graduated from where, because it's the same certificate.
Okay.
As you get in Nigeria as you get in Ukraine. So the one who is in Ukraine for 5 years will present a certificate no different from the one who starts here and goes there.
Okay.
Same with the London program.
So the matriculation and convocation, do you have an opportunity to be part and parcel of it, even if I don't have to leave this country?
Yeah, okay. Let David come in. I'll come in.
For the matriculation, is going to be conducted here because you're starting the program here.
Okay.
But for the convocation, assuming you study for, like, let me say Ukraine, you do 2 years here and you travel to the remaining 2 years, the convocation will be there exactly the same time and the same way others who started there will be having there. So when you do 2 years here, you just transfer to the year 3 class.
Okay.
Your counterparts over there.
Okay.
For the London program, again, it's up to the student. You can finish the program here and go back to do a convocation.
Okay.
You can decide to participate in the virtual convocation back in Nigeria. So the option is entirely that of the learner.
Okay.
But for Ukraine, yes, you have to. Since you're there to complete the last 2 years, it means that convocation will be there.
All right. So we all know that the portal will be up on from the 15th of this month, and the website is www.idl.iaue.net. That is www.idl.iaue.net, and the email is info@idl.iaue.net. So you can so you can go there and get every information you need. You can also call the number for inquiry 081 513 84751. I'll take the number again, 081 5138 4751. You can get inquiries for any questions at all.
Correct.
You ask. Remember, registration opens on the 15th of February, one day after Valentine's. So don't go on Valentine's Day and forget that you have to go to school. One day after Valentine, and classes will start exactly 1 month after registration opens. Remember, you do not need to have JAMB.
Correct.
You do not need to write JAMB. You do not need to pass JAMB. You do not even need to write a post-UME. All you have to do is get your 5 basic credits dependent on the course of study and come over. Trust me, I think it's a pathway to go to London and as well as a pathway to go to Ukraine.
Correct.
If you
Who
ask
told you that?
me, it is evident in it all. If you ask me, it is a pathway to go to London or to go to Ukraine. So if you're one of those who have been thinking to get an education in any of these countries, I wonder what you'll be waiting for. The number again is 0815 138 4751. The email remains info@idl.iaue.net, and the website is www.idl.iaue.net. Now, I have had in the studio with me Professor Kontein Trinya. He is the director, the Institute of Distant Learning, Ignatius Ajuru University of Education, someone who has made this very possible. Thank you so much for coming by, sir.
Thank you very much, Karina.
And I have the David Bob Manuel, the program's coordinator for the Ukrainian Pathway program. Thank you so much, David, for coming by.
Thank you for having us here.
I wish you had a postgraduate program. Trust, I would have been there.
Next year.
Unfortunately, you don't have.
First form, if you come next year.
Oh, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Thank you.
All right, this is Silver Radio 93.7. It's not touched it down. I'm going to play you a few more songs. This one is coming from Avril Lavigne. It says, "When You Were Gone." Enjoy the music. I'll be right back.
That's fine.
You're welcome.